and welcome to the Shortings.tv Pilot Roundtable, a Southgate Media Group podcast. I'm Kyle Tremblay.
And I'm Olivia Richards.
And we're from Shortings.tv, where you can rate and review all your favorite TV shows, including the new series we're talking about today.
NCIS New Orleans.
Oh, another NCIS.
Because we needed another one.
You know what? There are too many military crimes happening. We just need to deploy another NCIS unit in a specific city across the nation.
You know it's missing? Jazz. You know where we can go? New Orleans.
That's the pitch. We just quoted the pitch for this show. The official tagline is, according to CBS's website, NCIS New Orleans is a drama about the local field office that investigates criminal cases affecting military personnel in the Big Easy, a city known for its music, entertainment, and decadence. Oh, Olivia, what did you think of this?
All I could think was gators, jazz, and murder. Like, that is just the perfect trifecta for what just happened in this pilot. Like, literally, like, they found the leg in the river, like, while they're chasing crawfish or whatever.
Oh.
And, like, I don't know. And then, like, literally, the detective came out and he's like, oh, was it a gator? And I was like, this show is going to be amazing.
This was like, okay, New Orleans is one of our most culturally vibrant cities. It has a very specific kind of culture. I have never seen a more flat portrayal. Like, this was like if a middle school play decided to set it in New Orleans, like how you would do that. Like, the accents. We could do this entire podcast about the various accents that are being deployed by every character and how they are all somehow wildly different.
That's what I was wondering.
Right? No one is doing the same accent, even though they're all from the same town.
It's like Dracula all over again.
This, by the way, this was the accent that Scott Bakula is doing in this show is the accent that Jonathan Rhys-Meyers was attempting in Dracula.
We know where he found his inspiration.
Yeah, he saw an early screener of this and was like, Bakula, you've done it again.
It rhymes with Dracula, and he's
oh
like,
my God.
this is my sign. This is my just sign that this is where I need to be in life.
Oh, Scott Dracula. Wow. I'm very excited about a Scott Bakula Dracula crossover.
So, now I know what pilot I'm going to be pitching.
Absolutely. Oh my gosh. I don't even know if I can continue after Bakula Dracula. Wow. Mainly I don't want to continue because this is a show about a character named Special Agent Dwayne Pride. Is his full name? I mean, it's so NCIS, right? Like, it's just...
Yep.
Just go over, like, highlights, lowlights. Like, were there any scenes in this episode that stuck out to you?
I mean, it had me sold at, like, I mean, how many times at a crime investigation do you actually hear that alligators could have been a culprit in a murder?
Oh, and those two guys, the crab people who found the leg, were doing the most half-assed New Orleans accents I've ever heard. Like, they were from, like, the coast, like, as in, like, the West Coast. they were from Los Angeles, vacationing in New Orleans. Like, it's just so inauthentic. Like, and it's not like, I don't want it to be Treme, but at the same time, like, it's just this cookie-cutter NCIS template set in a city that has more rivers. Like, that's really it. Like, it's just
That's
NCIS.
exactly what I said to my roommate. She was asking. She came up and she's like, oh, like, what are you watching? And I was like, oh, this is the new NCIS. And, yeah, it basically was just like, oh, it's like they just took everything we've seen from the original, and then they just relocated it.
Yeah. This is NCIS : Rivers and Jazz. Because, like, there's nothing New Orleans about it other than that. I want to talk about the scene at the end where, after the murder is solved, the Bakula hops up on stage with a jazz band and bangs out a piano solo, while the father of the murder victim happily plays a trumpet. Can we talk about that? Is that cool?
Well, I was just like...
That's what we're doing here?
Because I knew they were friends, like, because he said, like, old friend, and you had seen him earlier, like, and he plays a sad trumpet performance earlier.
Sad.
So sad. But now he's happy again.
He's happy again. He's happy again for a reason that I had problems with. This is, oh god, this has been a pretty light podcast so far, and I don't want to bog it down with real talk here. But I'm going to enter the real talk zone, so adjust your expectations accordingly. I was kind of offended by this pilot in like a real way, like actually offended. Okay, so the victim of the pilot is a young man who is African American, right?
Yes.
He grew, as the story goes, as Bakula explains, he grew up involved in the gang world, and then Bakula mentored him and helped him escape the gang world to join the military. And now he's like on the straight and narrow. He's a good guy now. For much of this episode, everyone is under the impression that the reason he was murdered is he fell back into the gang world because there is a gang tattoo on his arm that is fresh. To the point that, Bakula tells the murder victim's father that, and the father is so distraught about the gangs, really more distraught about the gangs than about his son being dead, and that's what causes him to play the sad trumpet solo. I guess that's my problem, is like, to me, this pilot gave me the impression that if of course, at the end, it's revealed that he had nothing to do with gangs, that the person who murdered him framed him as being a gang member and put the tattoo on him as he forcibly put the tattoo on him. So it turns out the guy is a model citizen who was murdered senselessly because he was looking into a shipping irregularity with the shipping clerk who was like skimming goods and doing something, that was why he was murdered. The gang thing was a cover. And everyone's very relieved by that. And they all play jazz and live happily ever after. What if he had been a gang member? What if he had been murdered because he was a gang member? This pilot gave me the very distinct impression that the real tragedy of the hour was not this kid being murdered, it was that he got re-involved with gangs, and everyone, including his own father, was so relieved when it was revealed that wasn't the case. I mean, again, the father who just lost his son, like the previous day, is happily playing a trumpet solo once he finds out that his son did not get re-involved with gangs. And I feel like this is kind of the reverse of what we saw happen with Michael Brown in Ferguson, where the Ferguson police, as soon as they found out that he had something seedy in his past, the Ferguson police gleefully put that out to the media, and then immediately a whole lot of people stopped caring because the kid had done some things that weren't good. And this is I feel like reinforcing that mindset where if an African American is killed and he's not an absolute perfect model citizen, if he's ever committed any wrongdoing in his life, then we shouldn't care. But because in this case he was a perfect citizen, it's okay to be sad about it. And that was just really frustrating to me and kind of upsetting. And I left this pilot feeling upset because of that. And so that was
it is really worrisome because it kind of offers just kind of a troubling social commentary, especially in light of everything that's happening right now. Yeah, that was not exactly what we wanted to be seeing.
No, and it's just this it's this like it just frustrates me because the CBS, we know CBS is watched mostly by old white people. Like, that's not a secret. We have demographics on this stuff. And it just felt like to me like this show was operating under the guise of being kind of progressive in that it's in New Orleans, and like the Bakula at one point delivers like an like a don't judge a gang member before you know he's guilty rant, which was good, but I felt like it was much more insidious, the idea that everyone should be happy because this kid wasn't involved with gangs, not sad because he was murdered, and it doesn't really matter why he was murdered. It's a kid who was murdered. Like, we should be sad about that. It's okay to like be sad about that. And the gang thing was like, I don't know. It just really bugged me. This pilot bugged me, and that's my rant on the subject. So so yeah, that's it. Okay, so but having said all that, Olivia, thumbs up or thumbs down on NCIS New Orleans?
I have to give it a thumbs down. No.
Yeah, I don't know. I mean, if you like NCIS, obviously, I mean, this is par for the course, I would imagine. I don't think either you or I watches NCIS, and so
no.
Yeah, shocker.
Right.
So yeah, this is if you like NCIS, I'm sure you will enjoy NCIS New Orleans. I do not, and therefore I give it a thumbs down. So how can people keep up with you, Olivia?
I am on Twitter at RichardsOlivia.
All right, and that concludes this episode of the Shortings.tv Pilot Roundtable. We invite you to check out this and other Southgate Media Group podcasts at southgatemediagroup.com and to read about, rate, and discuss all your favorite shows at Shortings TV. You can follow me on Twitter at KyleLovesTV, Olivia at RichardsOlivia, and Shortings at ShortingsTV. Until next time, thanks for listening.
If you would like to donate to help pay for this and other Southgate Media Group podcasts, simply go to our website, southgatemediagroup.com, and click on the donate button. It can be as little as $1 or, well, as much as you want. Help keep this fun going by supporting this and our other shows. Thanks again for listening, everyone. You're the best fans in the world.